Fellow bikers, once again, here we are. So another video, and this one's on how not to go down a hill. Interestingly enough, I'd watched quite a number of videos on fixing the bike and stopping the bike and braking the bike and going around the corners with the bike. This is on roads and on the dirt and on ABS. Going up hills, but for some reason I hadn't really watched many videos on how to go down a hill on gravel. So the interesting thing is my bike, the ABS switch was not working when I first got it, so I couldn't actually turn the ABS off. So one really large hill near my place, which I sort of practiced on a couple of times, and actually went down this hill and thought, okay, the ABS is a real pain in the arse, because it was, you know, basically rolling forward and then sliding, then rolling forward. So I thought, well, once I get the ABS fixed, it is going to be a piece of cake. Well, very funny. I'll show you the video, and it was a lot more difficult than I thought, and I also really, in not watching any videos about going down hills, I wasn't really applying the front brake. I was putting all the back brake on, and I was sliding all over the shop. And even when I've been riding on the road, I'm quite back brake heavy. I hadn't really been using the front brake like I should have. Of course, having turned got the ABS fixed, turned it off to go down this hill. And anyway, you'll see the results. I'll actually try and see if I can do something with the sound, so you'll actually see in the first video where the back brake keeps sliding out on me because I'm not really using the front brakes. Anyway, here we go. Right, as you can see, I didn't quite get the sound working, so I couldn't diminish the sound to see where I was. Back brake was skidding all over the shop, but I'm sure you heard it to some extent. And it was actually pretty scary by the time I got down the hill. Anyway, so of course, came back and thought, well, that was a bit average, pretty bad. And it was a bit nerve-wracking actually coming down that hill, and came back and watched some more videos, and learnt that I need to, of course, apply the front brake a lot more, or completely, and very little on the back brake, and also sort of be standing on the pegs, or at least have most of my weight to the back of the bike. So that means actually when you do apply some of the back brake, you're going to get, you will get more traction on the back, so it won't skid as much. But of course most of your braking is to be done on the front. So here's a second go around. It's still not great. I still wasn't putting enough weight onto the back of the bike, and I certainly wasn't getting stuck into the front brakes enough. So here we go with that one.
Alright guys, here we are again at the hill, favourite hill, so not to be outdone by the hill, we'll give it a crack with the new learning. Front brake.
Well, as you can see, it was a bit better on that hill ride. I did stop in the middle, sort of started to get a little bit sideways and still really wasn't putting enough on the front brake really. Still putting a lot more on the front brake, but nowhere near as much as I should have. And still putting some on the back, but I was doing much better, and I was also trying to really put my weight back on the back of the bike. Sometimes I was standing up a little, a lot of the time I was putting my weight back on the passenger seat as much as I could. What you might notice also going down this hill, and it's very hard to see hills when you're videoing because you just cannot see the hill. There were a lot of twigs and branches and leaves, and there's a lot of stuff that even though you're applying the front brake a lot, there's a lot of stuff you were sliding on as well. So I have seen some videos where they've been teaching you to come down the hill sort of more muddy, and which would be slippery as well, but I would think that the bigger branches and so on would make it much more difficult. Anyway, needless to say, I decided I'd tackle a smaller hill, which might have been better in the first place. So this is probably the last video on, I did a smaller hill, have a look at that. That was a lot easier, and I actually controlled my descent really well actually. So I'll leave you with this one, and I think I'll I'll see if I can go back and tackle the bigger one, and maybe that's another video in that, to see if I can really get in the front brakes and really control my descent, really control my descent like I did on this smaller hill. Anyway, until next time, here's the video, and get some fresh dirt under your tyres, I guess. Alright,